ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਪਿਆਰੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕੋ, ਇਸ ਵਕਤ ਅਸੀਂ ਖੜੇ ਹਾਂ ਫੈਦਰਡੇਲ ਵਾਈਲਡ ਲਾਈਫ ਪਾਰਕ ਸਿਡਨੀ ਦੇ ਆਸਟ੍ਰੇਲੀਆ ਦੇ ਚਿੜੀਆ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਵਿਖਾ ਲਾਂਗੇ ਨਵੇਂ ਤੋਂ ਨਵੇਂ ਜਾਨਵਰ। ਇੱਥੇ ਦਾ ਕਿੰਗਰੂ ਜਾਨਵਰ ਹੈ, ਮਸ਼ਹੂਰ ਬੜਾ ਹੈ, ਜੋ ਕਿ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਪੈਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਪੂਛ ਤੇ ਹੀ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਹੈ। ਉਹ ਸਿਰਫ ਆਸਟ੍ਰੇਲੀਆ 'ਚ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਹੈ। ਅਤੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਸੇਵਾ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਪ੍ਰੈਜੈਂਟਰੀ ਦੀ ਨਿਭਾਉਣਗੇ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਸੰਤੋਖ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ। ਸਰਦਾਰ ਸੰਤੋਖ ਜੀ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਜੀ। ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਤੇ ਗਿਆਨੀ ਸੰਤੋਖ ਜੀ ਬੜੇ ਵਿਦਵਾਨ ਆ, ਤੇ ਕਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਪੁਸਤਕਾਂ ਦੋਵਾਂ ਲਿਖੀਆਂ ਇਸ ਕੀ ਬਾਰੇ?
ਸਿਰਫ 9 ਹੀ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ, 9 ਪੁਸਤਕਾਂ ਲਿਖੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਬੜੇ ਵਿਦਵਾਨ ਆ। ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਮੈਕ ਦੇਣਾ। ਤੇ ਦੱਸਿਓ ਇਸ ਪਾਰਕ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ, ਕੀ ਇਹਦੀ ਵਿਸ਼ੇਸ਼ਤਾ ਜੀ?
ਇਹ ਜੀ ਸਿਡਨੀ ਮੈਟਰੋਪੋਲੀਟਨ ਏਰੀਆ ਦਾ ਇਹ ਵੈਸਟਰਨ ਸਿਡਨੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਬਰਬ ਆ, ਦੂਨ ਸਾਈਡ। ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਮੌਜੂਦ ਹੈ ਫੈਦਰਡੇਲ ਵਾਈਲਡ ਲਾਈਫ ਪਾਰਕ। ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅੰਦਰ ਹੁਣ ਇੰਟਰ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਵੇਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜਾਨਵਰ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਦੇ ਜੋ ਆਸਟ੍ਰੇਲੀਆ ਦੇ ਨੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਬਾਰੇ ਸੰਖੇਪ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ। ਜਿਵੇਂ ਆਪ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਹੀ ਹੋ ਕਿ ਮਸ਼ਹੂਰ ਕੈਂਗਰੂ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਦਾ ਜਾਨਵਰ ਹੈ ਜੰਗਲ ਦਾ, ਜਿਹਦੇ ਪੋਚ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਇੱਥੇ ਪੇਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ ਲੈਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਅਤੇ ਪਿਛਲੀਆਂ 2 ਲੱਤਾਂ 'ਤੇ ਉਹ ਸਕਿਪ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ। ਅਤੇ ਇਸ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਮਖੌਲ ਨਾਲ ਆਸਟ੍ਰੇਲੀਅਨ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਾਹਰਲੇ ਲੋਕ ਸਕਿੱਪੀ ਵੀ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਨਿਊਜ਼ੀਲੈਂਡ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੀਵੀ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਆਓ ਆਪਾਂ ਅੰਦਰ ਚੱਲੀਏ। ਹਾਂ, ਇੱਥੋਂ ਟਿਕਟ ਖਰੀਦ ਕੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਆਉਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ। ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਆਉਣ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਬੜੀ ਲੰਮੀ ਲਾਈਨ ਸੀ, ਹੁਣ ਵੀ ਦਰਸ਼ਕ ਇੱਕਾ ਦੁੱਕਾ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ। ਆਓ ਆਪਾਂ ਅੰਦਰ ਪ੍ਰਵੇਸ਼ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਇਸ ਜ਼ੂ ਦੇ। ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਇੱਥੇ ਹੈਗਾ ਜੀ ਇਹ ਕੈਂਗਰੂਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਫੂਡ ਪਾਉਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਸਕਦਾ। ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਅਤੇ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਮਿਲ ਸਕਦਾ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਇੱਕ ਕੱਪ, ਅਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਫੂਡ ਪਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੋਈ ਸ਼ੌਕ ਨਾਲ ਪਾਉਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੋਵੇ। ਹਾਂਜੀ ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਸੀਰੀਅਲ ਵਗੈਰਾ, ਅਤੇ ਉਹ ਬੜੇ ਸ਼ੌਕ ਨਾਲ ਇਹ ਖਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ। ਹਾਂਜੀ।
Hi, I'm Rachel. I'm from London. I'm a backpacker travelling around Australia, and I'm staying in Sydney for a while. Thought we'd come out to Feather today to have a look around, see some natural Australian animals, including the laughing kookaburra, which is quite a well-known Australian animal. And yeah, I'm from London, and it's an amazing opportunity to come out to Australia and travel around and get to know the country and everything about it. So we got the train from Sydney today, and we're hoping to spend a good afternoon before the thunderstorms start, experiencing some wildlife.
ਇਹ ਆਪਾਂ ਵੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਆਰੰਭ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਜ਼ੂ ਦੇ। ਇੱਥੋਂ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਪੰਛੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੱਕ ਸਮਝ ਲਓ ਵੀ ਤੋਤੇ ਦੀ ਕਿਸਮ ਦਾ, ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਲਾਫਿੰਗ ਕੁਕਾਬੂਰਾ, ਲਾਫਿੰਗ ਕੁਕਾਬੂਰਾ। ਅਤੇ ਇਹ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਉੱਚੀ ਉੱਚੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੋਲਦਾ ਹੈ, ਅਤੇ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਇੰਨਾ ਇਹ ਭੀੜ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਗਰੁੱਪ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੰਨਾ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਰੌਲਾ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਚੰਗੇ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਦੇ। ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਆਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਵੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਫੈਂਸ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਇਹ ਵੱਖ ਵੱਖ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੋਕਾਬੋਰਾ ਦੀਆਂ ਕਿਸਮਾਂ ਹੀ ਆ, ਤੋਤਿਆਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਕਿਸਮਾਂ ਦਾ, ਕੋਈ ਰੰਗਦਾਰ, ਕੋਈ ਡੱਬੀਆਂ ਵਾਲਾ, ਕੋਈ ਛੋਟਾ, ਕੋਈ ਵੱਡਾ, ਆਪਾਂ ਵੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਅੱਗੇ ਚਲੀਏ ਜੀ। ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਆਹ ਆਪਾਂ ਵੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਕੈਂਗਰੂ ਦਾ ਬੱਚਾ ਛੋਟਾ, ਆ ਬੀਬੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਨਾਲ ਵੇਖ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਨੇ। ਇਹ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਦਾ ਮੇਨ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੁਖੀ ਜਾਨਵਰ ਹੈ ਜੰਗਲੀ, ਇਹ ਉਹਦਾ ਬੱਚਾ ਹੈ ਇੱਥੇ। ਹਾਂਜੀ।
Hi, my name's Bridget. I'm from Australia, and right here is a little paddy melon. So it's a little wallaby. As you can see, she's pretty small. They also have little pouches where their little joeys go in, so it's like a little safe place, which is really cool. And isn't she gorgeous? Very gorgeous. And she's feeding the little paddy melon. Very cute. There you go. Would you like this back?
Okay, my daughter. Thank you.
We have another paddy melon here. They live in central forests around areas and wet forests. That's where they live around Australia. They live on the east coast of Australia, little bits in New South Wales and a little bit in Queensland, the lower part of Queensland. That's where you can find them. They eat grass, leaves, roots and bark. Size of about 62 centimetres with the body and about 27 to 51 centimetres in the tail. Here's the Australian's largest birds. They live in the rainforest. They're called the cassowaries. And if you have a look at their toes, that middle one in the middle can actually split you open. So they're actually very shy animals, but if provoked, they will kill you. They're fruit eaters and they eat lots of fruit with seeds in them. So when they poop that out, they grow more trees. And they're very good help for the rainforest. Here's a pelican. They live near the ocean because they do love to eat fish. And you can see that big flap just under where their beak is or their bill. They can actually hold about 12 litres of water. And they scoop that up with the fish and then they exit all that water out through just the sides of their mouth. So here we go. Here's the cutest animal in Australia. It's a koala. So koalas are not bears, as most people do call them. They did used to look like bears, but they're not bears. They're actually marsupials. So what a marsupial is an animal that actually has a pouch, has a little pink baby, and that actually produces milk. So very cute little joeys, as we do call koala babies. So little joeys they have in their little pouch, just like a kangaroo does. They're very cute when they do come out. Koalas also sleep for about 16 to 20 hours a day, and they only eat eucalyptus. So they eat about 1 kilo of eucalyptus a day, and then they mainly sleep the rest of the day. They don't really do much. So when you do see them, they do active, get pretty excited, because they don't really do that much. They mainly just sleep. You can also find koalas up in trees sleeping and in weird positions because they try and either get cool or they try and keep warm. There are some long-necked turtles. So if you have a look just down here, you can see why they get the name long-necked turtle, because they have a long neck. And what they eat, they're mainly 90% carnivorous, which means they love hunting for fish. And they do eat about 10% vegetation, so a bit of seaweed, a bit of algae. That's what they'll eat. They don't really eat that much, but they do love hunting. And they have that long neck so they can actually strike out a little fish that swims past, or a little frogling. They'll eat just about nearly anything, and they're really cool little critters. Here you can see a ghost bat, and it's actually eating at the moment. So they're actually carnivores, so they actually eat meat. So you can see it's actually eating a little mouse there, and you can see they have these big ears and little eyes. So what those ears do, it's actually an echolocator. So it sends out this silent noise, and when it hits back off an animal, it comes straight back to them, and that's how they exactly know where the animal is, and they'll go down and eat it. And they're pretty crazy looking, aren't they? So here we go. We're looking at a scarlet macaw. They live in Central America, so northern south, just in the center there, that's where they live. They mate for life, so they only have one partner throughout their lifetime, and in captivity they can live up to about 75 years. So that's a long time for an animal to live, but these guys, they can actually live to 75 years, which is a pretty long time. They're the most gorgeous animals, so they're very pretty birds, and as you can see, most people do like to steal them from the wild and put them on the black market, so please do not go out and buy them. They're very pretty more in the wild. Hi guys, how's your day going?
Hi, my day's been pretty good. Thank you.
Yeah, so what's your favourite animal so far?
Kangaroo.
Kangaroos, oh, they're pretty gorgeous. And how about your day? How's it going?
Good day. It's good.
So they're having lots of fun today here at Featherdale Wildlife Park. From
Indonesia. Indonesia? We're all from Indonesia.
Indonesia, woo! So here we go, here's an echidna. They're very spiky animals, but if you do get to see them up close, you can see there is a bit of fur in between their spikes there, which is pretty cool. So their spikes is actually made out of our fingernails and hair, so it's made out of keratin. So it actually grows back. If you do touch them, they don't actually prick you. They're pretty cool animals to look at, and they are very cool. So you can see, if you look down here, this one just here, it's actually feeding. If you see, they actually have these really long tongues, and what they do, they actually lick everything. So they don't actually have teeth like humans do. They actually have these two plates, so just like our molars, but one big plate, and they actually crunch down on things. So they eat anything from little ants or little insects. That's what they like to eat. So they like licking everything and then crunching. So this is a goanna. So what a goanna is actually a reptile. So it's actually a bit of a larger lizard. They eat insects, other reptiles, small mammals, nesting birds, and even some eggs. They do tend to love eggs as well, so they go and raid those nests. Even other reptile eggs, they'll go eat them to go get some nice nutrients out of them. And you can see now he's actually trying to get in the sun. So what he's trying to do is, because they're cold-blooded, they go in the sun and actually heat up. So they actually need to heat up to actually eat any food and move. So if they don't have any sun, they actually sort of get cold and they just die, unfortunately. But they do find warmth even in the winter. Some animals actually go in hibernation. These guys sort of just steady through the winter. Here we go, we got an eastern grey kangaroo. She's very pretty. So the females are much smaller than the males. So the males can actually grow bigger and stand taller than an actual male. So females are a bit more smaller. They form mobs, as we call them. So they go in groups. So the females actually go in groups where there's only one male in that group, and he's the big dominant male. And then all the other males, they sometimes form a little group. If not, they'll be by themselves. So in that group, they'll actually have a dominancy. And now when they get older, they learn these behaviours of being a dominant male. So either kicking on their tail, or scratching, or fighting, or even boxing. They're pretty cool. And you can also see next to them, there's actually an agile wallaby. So they live on the east coast of Australia as well. So they're a bit more smaller. They're also a wallaby. So the wallabies are much smaller. Yeah, so they're very pretty.
ਇਹ ਆਸਟ੍ਰੇਲੀਆ ਦਾ ਖਾਸ ਜਾਨਵਰ ਆ ਕੰਗਰੂ, ਹੋਰ ਕਿਸੇ ਮੁਲਕ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੇ। ਤੇ ਇਹ ਪਿਛਲੀਆਂ ਲੱਤਾਂ ਤੇ ਹੀ ਤੁਰਦਾ ਆ, ਛੜਪੇ ਮਾਰ ਕੇ, ਔਰ ਪੂਛ ਤੋਂ ਕੰਮ ਲੈਂਦਾ। ਪਿਛਲੇ ਮੋਹਰੇ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਉਹ ਹੱਥ ਵਾਂਗੂ ਇਹ ਮੋਹਰਲੀਆਂ ਲੱਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵਰਤਦਾ। ਤੇ ਜੇ ਕਿਤੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਦਾ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਸਾਹਮਣਾ ਕਰਨਾ ਪਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਖਲੋ ਕੇ, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਘਸੁੰਨ ਬਾਕਸਿੰਗ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਬੰਦੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਲੜਦਾ। ਤੇ ਲੱਤਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ ਦੂਜੇ ਨੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੜਦੇ ਆ, ਲੱਤਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ ਦੂਜੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰਹਾਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਮਾਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਦੂਜੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਅਪੋਨੈਂਟ ਨੂੰ, ਚਾਹੇ ਬੰਦਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਤੇ ਚਾਹੇ ਦੂਸਰਾ ਕੈਂਗਰੂ ਹੋਵੇ। ਹਾਂਜੀ ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਆਪਣਾ ਬੱਚਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਫੀਮੇਲ ਕੰਗਰੂ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ, ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਥੇ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਪੋਚ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਪੇਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹਦੇ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਉੱਥੇ ਨਾਲ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਇਹ ਤੁਰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿਤਾਬਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਬਾਰੇ, ਹੁਣ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਵੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ।
So we're looking at an emu, and emus are almost like cassowaries, but the same size. That's how sort of tall they are. And can you hear that? I think we're doing an interview. Oh, he stopped. He's not chatty now, but he was making these drum noises in his chest. So like this. That's what it sounds like. That's how they sort of talk, this nice deep drum noise. And that's how they talk to each other. And if you feel their feathers, because they got feathers because they're a bird, they actually feel a bit oily because they have a bit of oil through their skin. We're looking at a sheep. So everyone sees sheep. We do have them in Australia. So obviously we do have sheep shearing farms here in Australia. And you can see that wool. We actually shear that. So we actually make lots of clothes out of that. So what I'm wearing, nice cotton top here. That's where I actually get the wool from to actually make the top. Here is the best animal in the world, a guinea pig. So guinea pigs are cute, so anybody can actually own a guinea pig. They're very cute. They make lots of cute little noises like they make all little cute little noises. They even make these little jumps called popcorning, where they actually jump around when they're really super duper happy. Even rabbits do that, but obviously it's a little bit hot down here in Australia, so they're actually cooling off And even the rabbits you can see in the background, they actually lose their heat when it gets hot through their ears and actually breathing really fast. So they don't actually sweat like people do. They actually lose it through their ears and breathing really fast. Here we're looking at a guinea fowl. So they're found from Indonesia and they make these big loud noises. You won't believe they'll actually make these noises. They make these big loud noises and they go big loud noises. Not exactly what I sounded like, but they make very loud noises sort of like that. So here we go. Oh, must have heard it was showtime. So this is a wombat. So wombats are nocturnal. So what that means is they're actually awake at night time. So she's just moving around. It is a little bit hot. So she was just on her back before. Now she's just moved around. So wombats, their cousins, who we just videoed before, are actually the koalas. So they're sort of the same. They actually got the same structure. So they actually have a back plate on their back. So the koala uses that to actually sit comfortably in a tree, where the wombat actually uses it to move all predators away from its burrow. So if anything comes in, it uses its bottom to actually squish them against the wall. So they have big butts. This is a beautiful animal. This is the Australian dingo. They originated here about 5,000 years ago. They came here on ferries and boats that people brought over from Indonesia. So they've been here for quite a while. They actually adapted to the mainland. So they live all over Australia except for Tasmania. They didn't get down there quite in time before it broke off. They eat lots of different animals. They eat small mammals from wallabies or kangaroos. Even they eat the wild animals. They eat foxes and cats, which is really good for us. So they actually get rid of a lot of pest animals. They're a beautiful animal to have. So you can also find them in different colours. So you can find them in this nice, beautiful tan colour, which is 80% of the population. You can also find them in a dark brown or black colour. That's about 15%. And also 5% is a gold colour. So they're also all beautiful dingoes. So you can actually find them all in Australia. So they're also related to the wolf. So they do howl like a wolf. They also whine. So they don't actually bark like dogs. Very beautiful animal in Australia.
ਸੋ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕੋ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਜੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਚਿੜੀਆ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਵੱਖੋ ਵੱਖਰੇ ਜਾਨਵਰ ਵਿਖਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਇਹ ਹੁਣ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਜੇ ਮਗਰਮੱਛ 7 ਮੀਟਰ ਲੰਬਾ ਮਗਰਮੱਛ ਹੈ। 8 ਘੰਟੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਹ ਰੋਕ ਸਕਦਾ। ਇਹ ਬੰਦੇ ਵੀ ਖਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ, ਐਡਾ ਇਹਦਾ ਮੂੰਹ ਆ। ਔਰ ਇਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਹੋਰ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਐਕਸਪਲੇਨ ਕਰੂਗੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਬੇਟੀ ਆ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟ ਜੋ ਇੱਥੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੀ ਆ। ਪਲੀਜ਼ ਐਕਸਪਲੇਨ ਇਨ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼।
So this is a giant saltwater crocodile. His name is Nuka. So Nuka is the name from where he was found in Australia. So saltwater crocodiles, as you can see, is actually sleeping at the moment. So they're actually a reptile, so a cold-blooded animal. So they need the sun to heat up. So what he's doing now is actually having a little nap. So crocodiles that can actually hold their breath underwater for 8-hour periods at a time. So that's what he's doing right now. And he actually shuts down most of his body parts to actually sleep underwater. So he'll only keep mainly his heart and the brain pumping. So everything else will be sort of shut down slowly, and that's how he can actually stay underwater for a long time. Live up to about 120 years of age, which is a very long time, so more than a human can live, so more than us. Even when they get to a bigger age or bigger in size, they can actually take down people. So make sure if you go into Queensland, that's where our big croc population is. Make sure you read all the signs carefully, because if you do go into a place where a crocodile is, it's very hard to get you out of its jaws. Here we go. This is a tiger snake. So a tiger snake is the most venomous snake in the world. So if you were to be bitten by one of these, it ain't going to be pretty. But we do have anti-venom for them. So there's different reasons why snakes have venom, and they actually do different things to the body. So if you're to be bitten by this snake, it could actually shut down the brain, could clot the blood, could cut off arteries. It does actually different things. Whereas if it was a python, pythons actually constrict their prey. So they actually get all the air out of the animal so they can actually fit in its mouth. So if you're trying to eat, say, a Big Mac from McDonald's, try eat that in one whole mouthful without biting it. That's what a snake has to do. So even the tiger snake actually has to do that as well. It has to have get all that air out of the animal and actually gets all the blood vessels, so it actually dies pretty quickly and gets all the air out.
So you mean to say this is a snake ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਵੱਖੋ ਵੱਖਰੀਆਂ ਕਿਸਮਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਸਨੇਕ ਦਿਖਾ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਵੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਜੇ ਕੰਮ ਆ ਵੀ ਵੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਔਰ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਆ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਵੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਜੇ ਵੱਖੋ ਵੱਖਰੀ ਕਿਸਮ ਦਾ ਆ ਵੇਖੋ ਕਿ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹ ਬੜੇ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਸਮੇਂ 'ਚ ਬੜੇ ਬੜੇ ਸਨੇਕ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਰਾਹ ਡੱਕ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਗੱਡਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਆ ਵੀ ਸਨੇਕ ਆ ਵੇਖੋ ਦੋ ਕਿਸਮ ਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਜੇ ਕਿੱਡੇ ਲੰਬੇ ਸਨੇਕ ਆ ਇਹ ਔਰ ਆ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਡੇਂਜਰ ਆ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ do you know
It's a wormer, so it's a type of snake. They mainly eat reptiles and small mammals. You can find them centrally in Australia and bits of parts of Western Australia. So just like other snakes do, they actually coil up in the sun and actually get all that heat. They actually coil up as well when they actually have a little mammal or a reptile, so they actually get all the air out and cut all the blood vessels off, so it actually helps put the animal in its mouth. And if you have a look at their eyes, they don't actually blink, so they don't have any eyelids. So when they actually shed their skin, their eyes actually turn blue, and that's how you know they're about to shed. So they even shed their eyelids, so they get like new eyes every time they shed. So this is a black-headed python. So, can't even see its head, but they have a black head, so it's looked like it's dipped in black paint. They get to about 3.5 metres long, so that's a really big snake. So they mainly live on the top part of Australia. That's where you can find them. They eat lots of reptiles, mammals. That's what they do like to eat. So just like other snakes, they do coil up. They don't have any venom, so if you do get bitten, you won't die. So they're very good. They're very good for our ecosystem. So they get rid of a lot of our rodents and other reptiles. Obviously, that's how animals survive and actually keep the other animal population down. So this water monitor. They live on the top end of Australia. They grow to about 1 metres long, so they do get quite big. They can actually hold their nostrils, so if you can have a look at their nostrils right there, they can actually close their nostrils up when they're actually underwater swimming. So they can actually hold their breath for a certain period of time, and actually helps them for swimming deep down. So they do like to go hunting, either sometimes for little fish or little mammals that might be swimming. They do like to eat a bit of frogs and a little bit of reptiles as well. Or not really reptiles, but sometimes if they do get a bit hungry, they will. They like to do swim in the water, but as you can see, they do like to come out and sunbake because they are reptiles and they do need that warmth.
ਸੋ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਵਿਖਾ ਲਿਆ ਇੱਥੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਚਿੜੀਆ ਘਰ ਸੀਗਾ ਸਾਡਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਥ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਸਾਡੀ ਬੇਟੀ ਨੇ ਜਿਹਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਆ ਤੇ ਬੜਾ ਚੰਗਾ ਲੱਗਾ ਇਹਨੇ ਸਾਰਾ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਐਕਸਪਲੇਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਦੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਮਗਰਮੱਛ ਸੱਪ ਤੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਦਾ ਮੇਨ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੈਂਗਰੂ ਜਾਨਵਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਿਛਲੀਆਂ ਲੱਤਾਂ ਤੇ ਪੂਛ ਤੇ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਖਾਸ ਤੇ ਖਾਸ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਸਟ੍ਰੇਲੀਆ ਦੀ ਧਰਤੀ ਤੇ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਸੋ ਥੈਂਕਸ ਮਾਈ ਡਾਟਰ you help us too much. What do you want to say about Sikh channel?
Please go and like the page. It's a very good channel, so please like and share it.
Thank you. Sikh channel.
And support Sikh channel.
Thank you. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ.